Given the success of the Fallout TV show, a lot of new people are discovering the Fallout series for the first time. As a longtime Fallout player, I figured now might be a good time to dive back into the games and share some helpful things I learned along the way. In this video, we're going to explore 10 tips and tricks I wish I knew before playing Fallout 4. So buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and let's dive into the guide.
Maybe I should get a secret decoder ring too.
A secret decoder ring?
Number 1. How to get the Ballistic Weave armor mod. Ballistic Weave is an incredible item that allows you to add armor rating to regular clothing items. So if you want to maintain fashion without sacrificing survivability, this is a must. But you will have to jump through a series of hoops for the Railroad in order to get it. For starters, you will have to join the Railroad faction by locating them in the basement of the Old North Church. You'll then have to complete the Tradecraft mission with Deacon and unlock the next quest, Boston After Dark. At this point, you should be able to start getting missions from the Assaultron unit Pam. You'll have to complete the Mercer Safe House mission, where you set up a settlement for the Railroad at a random site. Now you can start doing Pam's Jackpot missions, where she sends you to retrieve a cache at a random location. After completing 1 or 2 of these missions, Drummer Boy will approach the player and say that Tom wants to speak with you. And at this point, you'll finally unlock the Ballistic Weave armor mod, which you can apply to any clothing item at an armor workbench. You will need to invest in the armorer perk to upgrade to higher levels, which I definitely think is worth it in the long run. At this point, the hardest thing about this is tracking down ballistic fiber. You can break it down from military-grade duct tape and ammo bags, but these are not easy to find. So I found the best way to get it is just to buy shipments of ballistic fiber from vendors. Some vendors that sell ballistic fiber shipments are Cleo in Good Neighbor, Lucas Miller the Traveling Merchant, who can be found on the road or in Bunker Hill, Proctor Teagan on the Pridwin, and Alex Combs in Vault 81. If you don't want to craft these items yourself, you can also buy armored clothing from Tinker Tom. Number 2, setting up supply lines between settlements. If you want to do any amount of settlement building in Fallout 4, then setting up supply lines is a game changer. Doing this will allow you to share workshop inventories between any settlement along the chain. This is a huge quality of life upgrade because you can basically use one workshop as your master workshop where you deposit all your items and then just connect every other settlement to that one workshop. This will definitely save you a ton of time running around to trying to collect specific resources to craft defenses and all sorts of other things you'll need for your settlements. So how do you actually do this? Well, for starters, you will need to unlock the Local Leader perk, which is in the Charisma tree. Next, open up the Build menu and find a settler to send as a supply line carrier, and choose which settlement you want to send them to. Then, rinse and repeat with subsequent settlements until you connect them all in a chain. You can view existing supply lines in your Pip-Boy by going to the map, hitting the key to show supply lines, which is listed at the bottom of the screen, and this will show you a visual of how your supply lines are set up. I usually like to run one line connecting each one, so I'll do Sanctuary Hills to Red Rocket to the next nearest settlement, and then so on until I've connected them all. Number 3, how to equip specific gear to companions. Fallout 4's companions can be particularly helpful in combat, but only if they're geared up right. So let's walk through how to change their equipment. First off, open up a dialogue with them and then select the trade option. Then transfer any gear you want them to use into their inventory. After that, you'll want to hover over the specific item and choose the equipped prompt, which is T on PC. It's important to note that companions will need ammo for any gun that is not their default weapon, and whenever their ammo stock runs out, they will default back to their basic weapon, which has unlimited ammo. But what about things like power armor? You can't just transfer a suit of power armor to your companion. Well, in that case, you'll actually need to interact with them as if you're starting a conversation, but instead of talking to them, just back away instead. This will bring up a little command cursor where you can give directions to your companions. Then, hover over the suit of power armor and select the prompt to get them to enter it. If you want them to exit the power armor, you'll need to start a conversation with them, and then you'll get a dialogue option to get them to leave the armor. This is great if you find a suit of power armor out in the world that you want to take, but don't want to wear it yourself. But the commands don't just apply to gear, which brings me to number 4. You can actually direct certain companions to hack terminals or open locks. Nick Valentine can even hack master terminals in some cases, and Kate is a great option for opening locks. This is a great alternative if you don't want to invest in those skills on your main character, or just haven't unlocked those skills quite yet. But keep in mind that just like the player, companions can also fail and get locked out of terminals and lockpicking, and not every companion has these skills. Number 5, using VATS to locate mines and hidden enemies. VATS isn't only useful for targeting body parts in combat. You can also use it to locate frag mines or sneaky ghouls that haven't woken up yet. While exploring, it's useful to hit the VATS key if you suspect you're about to walk into an ambush. You will need to have line of sight, so it's not 100% foolproof, but it saved me from stepping on landmines so many times that I gotta mention it. Number 6, the Idiot Savant perk is busted. If you want to level up your character faster, then Idiot Savant is an absolutely essential perk to pick up. When you have this perk, you will randomly trigger a 3 to 5x experience boost, which can even apply to completing quests. Over the course of your playthrough, these bonuses will cause you to level up much faster than you would without the perk. Idiot Savant will trigger more frequently when your intelligence is lower, but the real big brain strat is to run this perk on a higher intelligence character instead. High intelligence grants you more XP for basic actions, but you will still trigger the 3 to 5x bonus frequently even with high intelligence. Number 7, don't forget to loot weapons for extra ammo. Ammo management is incredibly important in Fallout 4, especially in the early game. When you kill enemies, they will drop weapons and ammo. But even if you don't want to use their weapons, you should still pick them up, because you will gain additional ammo from their gun chamber when you loot their weapon. So if you're not looting weapons, you could be leaving dozens or even hundreds of additional rounds behind. If you don't want to get over-encumbered by a bunch of Institute rifles, you can always just drop them or sell them afterwards, or transfer them to your companions. Which I forgot to mention earlier, by the way, don't forget to use your companions as pack mules. They can carry a lot of extra stuff so that you can keep on looting without getting over-encumbered. I usually just transfer all my junk items to them. Number 8, shops and water extractors will generate revenue for you. One often neglected aspect of settlement building in Fallout 4 is that it is a great way to earn passive revenue in the game. When you establish shops in your settlement, a cut of the revenue will be periodically deposited into your workshop, so it's worth checking back every once in a while to collect your profits. Also, setting up water extractors at your settlements will deposit purified waters of water into your workshop, and you can sell these to make a lot of caps. This is useful for buying some of those super expensive rare items from vendors, like the Overseer's Guardian or Tinker Tom Special. Number 9, how to check companion affinity with console commands. This is a PC-specific tip, since you cannot open the dev console on console, which is kind of ironic given the name, but anyhow, console commands can be used for a lot of things in this game, such as giving yourself tons of caps, XP, etc. But if you don't want to cheat, you can also use it to look up certain things like companion affinity. Companion conversations, quests, and romance will only unlock at specific affinity checkpoints, but there's no way to view your relationship status with a character in the game. But with console commands, you can see the specific number. In order to do this, hit the tilde key to open the console, click on the character, then type getav space CA_affinity, and then hit enter. This will display your current affinity score with that particular character. Companion conversations will trigger at 250, 500, 750, and 1000, which is the max. There is also a console command that allows you to edit the specific number if you want to for some reason, but you didn't hear that from me. Number 10, don't ignore crafting, particularly for Stimpaks and Chems. Stimpaks are a super important resource in Fallout 4 that are used for rapid healing. You will stockpile plenty of them by exploring thoroughly over time, but another great way to get Stimpaks is to craft them yourself. In order to do this, you will need blood packs, antiseptic, and steel. Steel is super plentiful and easy to find. Antiseptic can be found in things like Abraxo Cleaner. Blood packs are the hardest to find, but there is an absolute motherload of them at the Greater Mass Blood Clinic, which is not too far from Fort Hagen. Chems are also incredibly fun to play around with in Fallout 4. I pretty much neglected them on my first playthrough, but they can be really useful. Jet allows you to slow down time for around 15 seconds, Med-X massively reduces incoming damage, and Psycho buffs your damage. Beware that some companions will lose affinity points when you use chems in front of them, and there is a chance to get addicted as well, which applies debuffs to your character when you go through withdrawal. but chem addiction can easily be cured by paying a few caps to a doctor, so feel free to spam away. So there you have it, 10 tips and tricks I wish I knew before playing Fallout 4. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Fallout and RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.